Hello and welcome to Ryno's Ravens preview. Week 2 of the NFL season is here. 2023, the Ravens will be playing the Bengals again. Played them last game of last year's season, postseason that is, and the last game of the regular season. So, wow. So week 18 in 2022, postseason 2022, and then week 2, 2023. Wow. Can the Ravens play somebody other than the Bengals? Hopefully, this game will go a little better. Ravens did not win any of those other ones. See what happens. See, I'm on BaltimoreRavens.com. Check the schedule out. You see it right there. Sunday at 1 o'clock in Cincinnati. Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. Take a look at the injury notes. Not a whole lot injury listed for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Ravens are something else. Well, we know J.K. Dobbins on IR will not play again this year. Marcus Williams, free safety, out pectoral injury. Ronnie Stanley, starting left tackle, out. Knee injury. Tyler Linderbaum. Keep screwing that one up. Starting center, out. Ankle injury. Marlon Humphrey, starting corner, out. Foot injury. Wow. John Simpson is listed here. Injury says personal. Not exactly listing other statuses except for Friday did not participate. Not 100% sure what's going on there. Not that they usually tell us a lot of these personal type things. They're not usually not required to divulge that much information about those to us and other teams. Mark Andrews is listed as questionable. He was a full participant in Friday's practice. Taking a look at this article, Ryan Mink, editorial director, wrote about injuries. Headline really says it all. Ravens rule out those 4 starters. Mark Andrews practices fully. While he is listed as questionable, if you're a full participant on Friday, you're probably going to play. Unless you retweak something on Friday or, let's say, in pregame warm-ups, you're most likely going to play. So, assuming Mark Andrews doesn't have a setback between now and game time tomorrow, Mark Andrews will play. Let's get to some of the articles. Now, Mark Andrews being there does kind of go with this article, also written by editorial director Ryan Mink. See the headline. Mr. Mink is taking a quote from Todd Monken. Too much drag. As Mr. Mink explains further down in the article, too much drag meaning too many small mistakes that hindered the execution. Now, can Mark Andrews' return aid that? Potentially. Does give another weapon. He's a little bit better weapon than, let's say, Isaiah Likely. Maybe. That is a matter of opinion, I guess. Not that Likely is terrible, but does give Lamar Jackson another option to go to, and a good option, and somebody that, let's say, the Bengals defense would also have to pay attention to. You're going to have to pay attention to Beckham. You're going to have to pay attention to Flowers based on his performance last week. You can't ignore Bateman. and you can't ignore Mark Andrews. So that does essentially spread out a defense more. Maybe. Now, downside is Cincinnati Bengals have, in my opinion, a pretty good defensive line. They do play a more of a 4-3 traditional. I guess that's technically not traditional. The traditional would be a 5-2. That is how football was played defensively to start. Nonetheless, the Bengals do play more of a 4-3, and they're very good as a unit and can put pressure on quarterbacks by themselves and don't need a whole lot of help blitzing. Not that they don't blitz. So, too much drag? Well, might be seeing drag, more drag this week, as in defenders dragging down Lamar Jackson. I think I saw that pun coming too early and started laughing in my head. I mean, especially with Linderbaum and Stanley out. But at the same time, with Andrews being back, can have maybe more outlets, hopefully. Get the ball out quicker. If you can get the ball out quicker, you can essentially neutralize the rush. Problem is, you got to get the ball out quicker. You got to have timing. You got to have less of those simple mistakes. So your rhythm between quarterback and pass catcher is in sync. Not exactly something that I think Lamar Jackson is that good at. He's a little better at it with Mark Andrews because they've been playing so long together. Even Lamar's first year, Lamar was a backup quarterback. Well, Mark Andrews was the backup tight end technically because Hayden Hurst was drafted ahead of him. So Lamar got a lot more reps with Mark Andrews than he did anybody else. And that is why he does favor Mark Andrews. Also, there's the fact that the tight ends usually are in front of the quarterback because that is just their general position. It's going to be a tough matchup for the Ravens. Hopefully, it will be a good game and it won't be a one-sided blowout by Cincinnati. Of course, if it's a one-sided blowout by the Ravens, I think it would be a fantastic game, but that's just my opinion. All right, let's go on to another storyline. Justice Hill, who looks to get more touches because of the injury to J.K. Dobbins. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to look at. I'll try to remember to do that later. Dax Hill, little brother, 3 years younger, is the starting safety or one of the starting safeties for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this isn't the first time the two have been on opposite sides in an NFL game, but it would be the first time that the brothers will be featured more on the field at the same time because Dax didn't get a starting job until this year, and Justice Hill should be the number 2 running back this year, which he looks to see a lot of touches. So, and again, somebody different wrote an article. Yay! I get to say a new name. This article written by Clifton Brown, BaltimoreRavens.com staff writer. This article, Mr. Brown talks about some of the sibling rivalry that when the Hill brothers were growing up. Yes, of course, there was a sibling rivalry. One brother was older and therefore usually bigger than the other one. So Justice Hill was, for the most part, getting the better of the sibling rivalry. Dax did start to win a few competitions when he got a little older and a little bigger. So, be somewhat interesting to see a safety and a running back to see them on the field against each other. The Manning brothers, we have had a little bit of this sibling rivalry. The Manning brothers, yes, but they're both quarterbacks. You don't usually see them on the field at the same time. That and they were two different conferences. The Barber brothers, Tiki Barber and Rondé Barber. Rondé Barber was a corner, so we didn't really have to worry about Tiki too much. Not that it didn't ever happen, but I think this one, and I can't remember some of the other brother duos out there and how they have done facing off against each other. There are the Watt brothers, but one of them's a fullback, the other two are pass rushers. I don't think they've really faced off each other too two of them are now on the same team. So this could be fairly interesting to see free safety or strong safety coming up to the line, trying to fill the box against the running back. Just happens to be his brother. So something to make note of. What did I want? I wanted to look at the depth chart. Okay. I thought I read something about a running back they picked up. Oh, I don't know that this is going to be... Did they pick up another running back? Okay. So Melvin Gordon, actually here listed on the Ravens website, Melvin Gordon is listed as running back. So apparently Melvin Gordon did make it to the practice squad. I don't know if... Of course, I thought I read an article when they signed him, and I totally forgot to look at this, and did not practice this at all. But there is potential for Melvin Gordon to be dressed for tomorrow's game and could take some carries away from Justice Hill or Gus Edwards. I am somewhat interested to see how he can perform. I mean, that's his number. There it is, the age 30. He's a 30-year-old running back. That is slightly old for a running back, but should be a veteran. Though he does have some bumbling issues. All right. Summarize and get out of here. Ravens at Bengals. Sunday, September 17th will be week 2 of the 2023 regular season. I'm going to take a wild guess to say I think this is going to be a very close game. I think the Ravens pass catchers have the talent level to beat the Cincinnati Bengals defensive backs that will be covering them, but I don't know that the Ravens offensive line can hold up against the Bengals defensive line and be able to give Lamar Jackson time to find those pass catchers. Because that is the thing. You can pay your quarterback a whole bunch of money, and you can pay all these wide receivers to come in and be his weapons. If you cannot pass block, it doesn't matter. Unless you want to cheat and be 5 yards off the line of scrimmage if you're a left tackle. Because that's happening now. The NFL's not doing anything about it. That's annoying. All right. We have completed this summary. I'm leaving now. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Ryno. Fly, Ravens, fly.